Yeah, but I'm expecting you also to do the interview too.
Oh yeah.
Ask me whatever you want.
Absolutely. I sure will. I got plenty of those. I got plenty of those.
Hey, Jordan, I'm the owner of the station. I've been a follower of yours for years. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Well, that's all right. Thank you. But we're not doing it on Skype. We're just doing it on regular phone.
That's right.
On the phone.
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Maxwell, YouTube
and yeah.
Say it again.
Hello, Mr. Maxwell, one of the owners of the station. I just wanted to say, I've been listening to you for years. You was one of the first videos I've seen that got me open before everything else. Keep up the good work, and we're glad to have you on the station.
Yep, you're right on the phone, and it's just we're doing what do you call it? Doing a live feed to Facebook on our radio station page, but it's only audio, so that's fine.
You don't want to do it on Skype?
I would love to, but I'm not even set up to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next time we have you on, we'll definitely have it ready for that. Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
You let me know.
You know what?
Sorry.
Can you throw? You can throw the music on if you want.
What do you want?
The usual. Victor Wooten.
Okay.
What did he say? Yep.
I don't want to leave the man hanging. That's what it is. You have extra time. What was it? Isn't she lovely? Is that the one?
Hmm?
What was it? Isn't she lovely?
No. What did he say?
Okay, I got it. All right, here we go. Ready? Turn your mic off. And I'll start the show. 30 seconds. Recording.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. What's going on, everybody? This is January 14th. Welcome to Freedom Truth Radio Show Live. This is your one and only host, Vincent E. Scott. And this is, of course, the Freedom Truth Radio, where the truth will make you mad first and then make you free. We are broadcasting live from HamiltonRadio.net and also doing a live simulcast on Facebook and YouNow. And you can tune in, check out our Facebook page, Freedom Truth Radio on Facebook, or on my personal page, Vincent E. Scott. We're doing it live on Facebook, and look for you to check us out right now. We're live, and we have a very, very special guest on tonight. Very special guest that I'm pleased to have on, and very privileged to have him on my station, have him on my show. He is someone that I've been following for quite some time. He is a researcher, and he's been doing it for over 50 years. He's a master researcher, and I call him a master researcher because anyone that has over 10,000 hours in a certain craft is considered a master. So that's why I call him a master researcher. He has studied the occult. He has studied the esoteric nature and background of religion, the esoteric signs of masonry that is involved in the government and involved in the secret societies. He's an expert in decoding those types of things. And if you will, please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my special guest on the show, Mr. Jordan Maxwell.
Yes, hello there.
Hello, Jordan. It's good to have you. Thank you for coming to Freedom Truth Radio. I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm sure you have a ton of information you could cover. And we have about an hour to go through, but I'm going to, talk to you about some things, and you can, talk to me about whatever you want to talk about. But we can chop it up, so to speak.
Why don't you start? And
Sure.
Any questions you have, I'll try and answer.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I will ask this much. With all this sort of smoke and mirrors going on right now with the government and
with the whole world.
With the whole world. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is. Well, it's namely this one circumstance with the our president that has everyone sort of distraught from his comments and his, the things that he's saying. Is that something that they're used as a distraction tactic to take our mind and focus off of what's really happening?
Well, first of all, if you're going to run a dictatorship, and that's what we have in America and around the world, the entire world is being ruled by a very powerful old dictatorship. In political terms, we call it fascism. But it doesn't matter what you call it. A totalitarian fascist dictatorship, everybody seems to know what that means. It means you don't have any freedoms, you don't have any options. You are living under a very tyrannical system. America has provided the human family for many years, a couple of hundred years ago, with a modicum of freedom, a very small little bit, but a little bit compared to what the world has always had, was a lot. Because freedom is not something that the human being has ever really enjoyed on the earth. There's never been a time when there was people who lived in freedom, who could do what they want, say what they want. And when this country was founded, no matter what kind of difficulties, what kind of imperfections they had, but immediately America was spotted by the European governments of the world. The Europeans have always been America's enemy. and still is. America's greatest enemy is England today. Because in the ancient times, Europe was ruled by Rome, the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire dominated Europe for about, 2,600 years. And so Rome, during its famous Roman Empire days, dominated all of Europe and the Middle East. And then when Rome fell and fell apart and collapsed about the 5th or 6th century AD, when it finally collapsed, it gave birth to the Vatican. So the Vatican came in and picked up where the Roman Empire had dropped off. And so today, for 1,600 years, Europe has still been under the rule of Rome. But not the Caesars of Rome, but the popes of Rome. And so for 1,600 years, Europe has been dominated by the Roman pontiff. But for 1,600 years, the entire back to square one. Europe has dominated the world for 1,600 years, and Rome's dominated Europe, for 1,600 years. So today, we are still today around the world, all over the earth, is applied to everyone. We're still today living under the Vatican rule. And this is why no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, what country you live in, it doesn't matter. The Holy Father is the boss, period. End of sentence. Whatever the Holy Father says, that's what the world will do. And this is why all over the world, no matter what particular political or religious society you believe in or follow, all the national leaders of the world always go to the Pope, and they always go to Rome and bow down and kiss his ring.
That's right.
Because the ultimate power on the face of the earth today is Rome, the Holy Father. And once you understand that, then you begin to look at how the government that you live under, and it's all over the world, so it's not just America. But since we live here, I'm more concerned about America. And when you find out that the United States today is actually the reestablishment of the Holy Roman Empire to dominate the whole world. And and then when you start to look at the details, the details of how America's government operates, you will find it's nothing more than the reestablishment of the Holy Roman Empire. For instance, in Rome, during the times when Caesar ruled over Rome, the government, the area of government in the ancient Roman Empire was in a particular place that was called Capitoline Hill, or Capitol Hill. That's in the encyclopedias and dictionaries and the reference works on the ancient Roman Empire. Caesar ruled ancient Rome from Capitol Hill. And he ruled
dictionaries
up on Capitol
and the reference
Hill.
works on the ancient Roman Empire. Caesar ruled ancient Rome from Capitol Hill.
Up on the hill.
And he ruled Rome up on Capitol Hill. And they would say that was a term that was used back then. That Caesar was up on the hill. And he would be up on the hill managing the Roman Empire with the Roman Senate. And so today we still have this.
Well, this is all Roman rule up on the hill with the Senate. And so now you understand you're still living under the ancient Roman Empire, and we are still dominated today by Vatican and by the Holy Father. And so that's the real powers that be in this world today. One of the most important, if not the most important, university in Washington, D.C. is a Jesuit, Catholic Jesuit university, which almost all presidents go to, all the top bankers and internationalists who run our country. They all go to this university in Washington called, it's a Jesuit university.
Wow.
I'm having very bad trouble with my throat, so you'll have to excuse me.
No problem.
But so once you understand how the Roman Empire viewed the people and how it ruled the people, well, then you can apply that today. And this is why today we're being ruled by Rome still. And the way it's done is very, very arcane. It's very strange the way the Roman government operates today.
Very much so.
You know, when Caesar on the continent of Europe, decided he wanted to also dominate Britannia, which we call Britain today. But when Caesar was on the continent and decided to go across the waters and invade Britain or the British Isles, when he went across and dominated Britain, his base of operation, his very base of his operation of Rome dominating England was in a city called York, England. York was the absolute center for the Roman power taking over England. And so when America was being brought into the picture and they came from England over to America, the idea was to reestablish
right.
the Roman domination of the Western world. And so in Britannia, it was York, England, and in America, it's New York. And New York was referred to as the Empire State. We even have a building called the Empire State Building. So New York is the center for the new Roman Empire. And so today, the whole world is being ruled by Rome. And once you have finally figured that out, that we are under Roman rule, then go back and start looking at how did Rome rule the world.
Right.
How did they put their money, and what were the laws, and how did they live? What were the freedoms, if any, and what could you do and can't do? Well, that's where we are today. We're living under the Vatican, the papacy in Rome, and the Holy Roman Empire is now in New York, the Empire State. And so, from there you can get into religion, government, military, industrial complex, wars all over the world for the destruction of the destabilization of the whole entire world, so that eventually Rome will have no enemies on the earth. It will take over the entire earth, and there will no longer be any freedoms, no more of this nonsense of freedom and liberty and justice.
Right.
None of that. There will be absolutely total, absolute, no freedom whatsoever, period. You will be under a most powerful syndicate government on the earth. And so that's what we're now looking at, is the formation of something called the New World Order.
Yes.
The New World Order is the final takeover of the earth by the ancient Roman Empire. And so this is what we're up against. And happily, we cannot do anything about it. Our military cannot protect us from our enemies. The military, or the United States military, cannot protect the American citizen. It is not in a position to protect us at all.
No.
Why? Because they work for Rome to start with.
That's right. They're there to protect the property, not us.
Say it again?
I say they're there to protect the property, not us.
That's right. That's exactly right. They're here to protect the property and keep the peace. And so they're called peace officers, and the cops come out to keep the peace. They don't want you disturbing the peace, which means, it's translated to mean, keep your mouth shut, sit down and sit your ass down and shut up,
right,
and don't give us any problems.
Right.
We want a peaceful operation here. When you get out of line and you become unpeaceful, we're going to deal with you.
Yep.
And
That's
so
exactly
the police are here for a reason. And if you go back to the beginnings of this country, cowboys and Indians, if you go to see those, if you watch those old cowboy movies that were made years ago, they still make them today, like Gunsmoke and all these cowboy days, when America was being founded, and people were moving west into the cowboy movies, they always carried guns. The cowboys, everybody always carried guns. Even women carried guns, and it was perfectly all right. They didn't have you didn't have to have a permit or go down to City Hall and get a license, a permit to carry a gun. If you're living in America, you just get one. Most men wore one on both sides. They had two guns. And if you go into a bar and you have an argument with some other guy and you can't settle it like gentlemen, then you can always go out in the street and settle it now between the two of you.
Right.
And the law said in America, when it was founded, this is a long time ago, the law said if you have a falling out with somebody, you want to settle it, that you have a perfect right to settle it any way you want. And so if you go out into the street, you can draw on each other, like the old cowboy movies. They have,
Yeah.
the guys would go out the street, and everybody in town is watching. The two guys draw, and whoever's the slowest goes to heaven.
Right.
And so the idea being is that the reason why you could do that, you can't do that anymore. But the reason why you could do that before is because when this country was founded, it was founded as a republic.
Mm-hmm.
And as a republic, that word meant back then that you, as an individual, you were a sovereign. A man was referred to as a sovereign. A sovereign is a king or a queen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't tell a king or a queen nothing. You can't tell a queen what she cannot do, or tell a king what he cannot do. That's
Right.
just not done. Kings and queens decide what they're going to do, and it ain't none of your business.
That's right.
And so if we were sovereign, that means that you, as a man living back in the founding of America, you were considered an absolute sovereign. You were a king. You could decide whatever you want to do, and you carry a gun to make damn sure nobody stops you. And so, but it's important to remember that there was a civil war here in the 1860s, and it was the most bloody war. It was an absolutely horrible and bloody war between the North and the South.
Right.
The reasons for that war, and we could go into another time, but the bottom line is, on that at that time, with that civil war, there was so much bloodshed and bad blood between the North and South. And so when it was finally over in the 1870s, when the Civil War was finally concluded and it was finally over, what we don't know, what people don't realize, is when that war was over, it was officially declared that the United States of America no longer exists.
Wow.
Period. The United States of America no longer exists. Why? It's quite simple. Because we were a lot of things after the war, but united was not
one of them, right?
We were not united. One half of the country is murdering the other half, and we're killing each other. So we're not united. And so, therefore, we are no longer a United States of America. We're disunited. The South wants nothing to do with the North, and the North wants nothing to do with the South. So we're not United States anymore. But when the war was over, well, you got to do something, because there's millions of people here on the land called North America.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a United States, well, then what do you have? And you better have something, because there's a lot of people who are here. Excuse me. A lot of people here who need to eat, they need to work, they've got guns.
That's right.
And they're used to their freedom, and they fought a war, and so now what are you going to do with these millions and millions of people that are left after the Civil War. What are you going to do with them? Well, whatever you're going to do, you better figure it out pretty damn quick. Because you've got millions of people who are hungry, who want to eat, and they got families, they want to work, they want to make money. And so it was decided very quickly in 1870 to 1871, it was decided that since the United States of America no longer exists, we're not united. So what are we going to do? Because the people are still here. So it was decided that they would make, instead of a country, they will set up a corporation, a company, like Sears, like General Electric, or
Yes.
Ford Motor Company. It's just a company, it's a corporation. And so they set up a corporation in 1870, 1871, which they referred to, they called it the United States Corporation. And now it is no longer a country, a republic. It is now a business.
That's right.
Period. It's just business. And the mafia will tell you that. We like you, and we're good friends, but you got to die. And why? Because it's just business.
Just business. That's right.
Getting in the way, we've had enough of you. So you're going to leave this world. Why? Not because it's personal. I like you. But I'm going to kill you because it's just business. You're getting in the way. And so today, the United States is a company. It's a business.
That's right.
And,
not a country.
And of course, happily, what you do is not my business. But if I see you, for instance, and I'll show you how it works. If I see you coming out of a restaurant one night with a girl, the next day I see you and I say to you, you know, that girl you were with last night, she is bad company. You better keep your eye on her because she's bad company.
Right.
And you say to me, mind your own business. You talk about business and company.
Right.
And then I find out you're going to get married. She's going to be your partner. So what do you talk about? Partner, business, and company? Yeah, life in America is a business.
It's business.
Has nothing to do with God or you know, your fellow man, and we are all like a family. It ain't no family. It's just business.
That's right.
You got the money, or don't you? If you don't have it, you're out of here, Jack.
Yeah.
And so we're not asking you to do anything. In a corporation like General Electric or Ford or General Motors, if you go to work for a big corporation like that, they don't ask you nothing.
They tell you.
If you go to work for them, they tell you.
That's right.
You will do what they tell you to do.
That's right.
You don't need to know what the boss of the corporation is doing. Where he's living in the islands and making millions of dollars a day. That ain't none of your business. Your business is to do what we tell you to do because we're paying you. And so you are an employee. That means you don't have nothing to do with nothing. So you just sit down and shut up and do your job. If you don't like that, then you don't have a job. And so then you begin to see how the corporation called United States works. It's just a business. That's why today, even if you want to get married, you got to have a marriage license.
That's right.
If you want to buy a gun, you got to have a license. You got to get a permit, or you'll pay a fine or a ticket, and you'll go to jail if you don't pay the ticket or the fine and get a license. Why? Because you no longer are living in the United States of America, the Republic, like the Cowboys did. They could do any damn thing they want and go any place they please across the whole country and carry guns, and there ain't nothing you gonna do about it. And so, and the reason why is because you got a gun too.
Right.
So everybody respected each other because everybody knows everybody else has got a gun. So you want to mess with somebody, just remember, and there's not gonna be no court. We can go out in the street and finish this right now. And so today, the United States is a corporation, it's a company, and you need to understand what I'm saying. It's like we're living in General Motors, we're living with Ford Motor Company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind that when you have a corporation, they can tell you what time you come to work, what time you go home, what
That's right.
time you can have lunch,
Mm-hmm.
what time you have a break, and what time you don't have a break. They can tell you what to do and what your job is, and you better do your job. And you better do it good, because there's plenty of people outside waiting to take your place if you can't do your job right.
Mm-hmm.
And so the big corporations do not, what they tell you, when they tell you what time to be at work, when they're giving you your orders and telling you what you can do and can't do, that's not considered law. General Electric or General Motors or Ford Motor Company or big corporations like Sears,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they tell you that they want you to do, that's not referred to as law. There is
Right.
no law. You're not under any law. You're just working for a company, and they have the right to tell you what to do.
Contract.
So whatever they tell you,
Right.
it's not law.
That's right.
Say it again.
Contract.
Yeah, it's just a contract.
That's it.
And they're paying you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that when they tell you something at work that's not the law, it's not chiseled in stone
Mm-hmm.
and backed up by God, it's not law. It's just their way of working. It's just their way of the company works, whether you like it or not.
And backed up by God. It's not law.
Policy.
It's just their
Policy is that you come to work at 8 o'clock and you go home at 6. That's just their policy. God didn't say that.
Right.
The United States government didn't say that. No, it's just the policy.
That's right.
I work for a company, and the policy is I go at 7, you go at 9. And so each company has its own policy.
Mm-hmm.
So today, the Roman Empire is a corporation. We live in the corporation. And so we have policy makers. And so we call them lawmakers. No, they're not lawmakers. The correct term is policy makers. Because what the senator and the Congress get together and they decide to make a new law, it's not a law. It's a policy.
That's right.
And so therefore it's called a statute. And so we have laws, we have things we think are laws that are called statutes. And you are put under arrest, meaning they are stopping you because you have not applied for a license or a fee or paid the ticket or the fine. And so therefore it's just their policies. So therefore we have policy makers. And so when they make a policy, the congressmen and senators, they get together and make a new policy that we have to do this or that. How are they going to back it up?
Yeah.
Somebody can tell you and give you their idea about what they want you to do. That's not God's law. That's what they want you to do. But how do they back it up? How are you going to, suppose you say, I don't want to come in at 7 o'clock. What you going to do about that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got to have somebody to back it up to make damn sure you do what they tell you. Because it's just their policy, but you're going to catch hell if you don't do it.
That's true.
So how are they going to back up the company policy with police? It's spelled the same way. Police.
Yes.
Police back up the policy. And therefore the policy makers are called politicians.
Mm-hmm.
So the politicians make the policy and it's backed up by police. And so the police are called, the police are called officers.
Yes.
Police officer. An officer means they are part of a corporation. They're an officer in the company.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a police officer or a policy officer. And so they make sure that you abide by the policy. So you're going to get your ass thrown to jail.
Yeah.
They're going to
That's
deal
right.
with you because you are not following the policy. legislation, and everything is not a law, it's a policy. We have policy makers and the police to back it up.
That's right.
Now, you do not own anything in America.
No.
If you're a U.S. citizen, you cannot and you do not
No.
own anything in America.
That's right.
You may think you do, but you don't own anything. Let me show you how. Let me show you why.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Say it again.
I said that's a good one.
Yeah. You don't own your car.
Nope.
You don't own your car. You don't own your children. You don't own your home. You don't own your boat. I don't give a damn what it is you got. You don't own it. You have what is called an economic interest in it.
That's right.
In other words, you had to put out money, and so you've got money involved in the car, but you don't own it. But you do have money involved in the car. So if I want to buy the car from you, I have to give you some money because you do have money involved in the car. But as long as you understand, you don't own the car. You are merely using the car because you've got money involved in it.
Right.
And so let me show you how the economic system or the commercial system works. It's very simple. Suppose you are a painter, and a house painter, and I call you and I say, I want you to paint my bedroom for me or my office. Then you come over and you look at the job and give me an estimate. And let's say your estimate is $100 to paint my room. And I agree. We're talking business. We're talking commercial business by law. Okay, so when you're through with the job, what do? In a normal business, you're a contractor, you finish the job, you come to me, and you give me a bill. And the bill is for $100. So I owe you $100. And so what do? I reach in my pocket, and I pull out of my wallet a $100 bill, and I hand it to you. And I just paid you, and you're happy because you got paid.
Yes.
And I'm happy because I got the bedroom painted. But the bottom line is, what you don't know, I didn't pay you anything. I didn't pay you a nickel. Nothing. I discharged the debt.
Okay.
You don't pay a bill in America. You discharge a debt, which means you gave me a bill for $100. I gave you a $100 bill. If you had given me a bill for $20, I would give you a $20 bill. So what you're doing in commerce in America is you're discharging the debt. Meaning, if you give me a bill for $500, I say, look it, you owe me $500 to start with. So if you owe me $500, and now you tell me I owe you $500, then let's just call it square. Because you owe me and I owe you, and that's it. So you just keep a record of it that I don't owe you nothing.
Now we call it even.
Did I pay you? No, I didn't pay you, but you owe me. So our debt is closed as far as I'm concerned. You owe me $500 and I owe you $500. We don't have no more business. It's over. And so as long as you understand, I didn't pay you anything, but I discharged the debt.
Right.
So that's the way America works today. So when you go into a store, you go to buy a new car or buy a bike or a motorcycle or an airplane, I don't care what it is you're buying, and you put down the money out of your wallet, put down the money and buy it, then that's yours. No, it's not yours. Why? Because you didn't pay for it.
Didn't pay for it, right.
You discharged the debt, but you didn't pay anything. And so how is that possible? Well, it's very possible because when this country was founded, it was decided by the government, by the founding fathers of the country, that gold and silver coin was money. So if you don't have any gold or pure silver coins, you don't have no money.
I have no money.
You may have a lot of bills in in 50s and 100s or whatever in your wallet, but you don't have any money.
Jordan, isn't it true?
Money, you can't pay nothing off, period.
That's true.
You can't pay anything. You can discharge the debt by the system what we have.
Right.
But if you owe me $500, you could get me $500 in the paper money, and that's supposedly good. Actually, on the front of the bill, it says this bill is legal tender.
Legal tender, right.
Legal tender. It's not money. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't say money. Money is spelled a different way than tender.
Right.
And so, therefore, you don't pay for your car. You don't pay for your television. You don't pay for nothing. You use legal tender, which is like money. It represents money, but it's not money. We're just using it like it was money.
Right.
And so, therefore, since that be the case, in this corporation, we call it the United States Corporation, Incorporated, just a business, you don't own nothing, period. So get over it and understand you don't own nothing. You don't own your children, you don't own anything. And
no ownership.
To prove that, anytime this corporation or this government wants to come in and take something from you, you can't do nothing about it. Because they own it. They own it all, and you don't own nothing. Now, if you got a vehicle, any kind of a vehicle, from an automobile, a truck, an 18-wheeler, a motorcycle, bicycle, I don't care what it is. If it's owned by the government, if it's a mail truck, or if it's a fire engine, or if it's a police car, or whatever it is, if it represents government, then on that car, the law says on that vehicle, if it's working for the government in any way, shape, or form, then it must have on the body of the car, the law says the body of the car or the body of the vehicle must have the words "for official use only."
Yes.
It must be on that vehicle. Motorcycle, tank, 18-wheeler, mail truck. It doesn't matter if it's a vehicle with wheels. Period. Then it must have on there on the body of that vehicle, whatever it is, for official use only. That means it's owned by somebody. It ain't you, but the government owns it. And how come the government owns it? Because they say so. If you don't like that, then speak up. When they say they own it, they own it. And if you don't like it, then say something about it.
Right.
So now, if it has for official use only, that means the government owns it. Now, when you go and you got a car and you have to register the car each year, and you get a little tag that you have to stick on your license. A license is a permit to do something which without that permit would be unlawful. So you can't drive that car. It's unlawful. It's against the law unless you got a license. Well, the license is just a permit because normally you can't use that because you don't own it and you don't have nothing to do with it. But you can use it if you got a license. But the only way I'm going to give you a license, I'm the government. And the only way I'm going to give you a license, you give me a little something. You pay a little something.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'll give you a license to use it. Why? Because I own it, not you. And so once a year, you get a license. You get a little tag to put on your license. And you don't look at it. But if you look at that little tag and look at it for the first time, what you're doing, you will see on the little tag that you stick on your license, it says, for official use only.
That's right.
Which means now when you stick that little sticker on your license, that means the government owns it, period.
Mm-hmm.
End of sentence. And so you are now leasing the car. You're now just using it. And they let you do that because you have a financial
interest.
meaning you put money into it, so we'll let you use it because you put a lot of money into it, you spend it, and you put the gas, you put the oil, and you make all the repairs, and you put a lot of money into it, so we understand that, and we won't do anything, you will get all pissed and mad. So we'll let you go on and use it and act like it's yours, as long as you understand ain't nothing yours, son, nothing. But we'll let you think it's yours. And so, and as long as you pay the license, as long as you pay the fine and the fee and put that sticker on that says for official use only, because that means I own it now.
Right. That's right.
So you just need to understand that if you're going to live in this world as a citizen, you need to know how the world works. You need to know how this stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to slip in one night to Ford Motor Company and cut through the fence and break in late at night into into the corporation building, and the security catches you, well, that's against the law. You go to prison for that. But if you come into the corporation and you're in there getting stuff and getting the money and doing whatever it is you're doing there at 4 o'clock in the morning when you ain't supposed to be there, they can put you in jail, all right? And when you come into this country from Mexico or from the borders or wherever it is border, if you come into this country illegally, unlawful, then you are illegal, and so the company can then put a lien on you. It's called a mechanic's lien.
Right.
A mechanic's lien is if I'm a painter and you want me to paint your house, and I paint your house, and then you decide you don't want to pay me. How am I going to get the money from you if you don't want to pay me? I can put a lien on your house. It's called a mechanic's lien, which means that you can't do anything with the house the way the law reads. You can't do nothing with your house unless you pay me. You want to sell it or rent it out, you have to give me money first. That's the way the law reads, because I got a lien on you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like the mob. If you owe them money, they're going to lien on you. And so therefore, if you come into this country and you're working behind the scenes and nobody knows you're here, then they're going to put a lien on you, and you're going to become known as an alien.
Yep.
So you're an alien.
That's it.
No, you're not an alien. They put a lien
Put a lien on you. That's right.
So now you are an alien. And so it all has to do with banking and words and terms. And of course, you have to worry about going to court. And why do you have to worry about going to court? Well, because you play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court. So watch out when you go to court, because it's a game.
It is.
It's a big game, and run by the people who run the game. And you don't run nothing. So you better watch out when you go to court, because now you're playing on somebody else's court.
That's right.
The whole idea in a court is to put the ball back in the other guy's court. So you go in with your team of lawyers, and they're going to confront another team on the other side, and that's your enemy on the other side with his team. And so you got two teams there in a court playing on the court. So how do you play when you're playing tennis on a court? How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket.
That's right.
Get it?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that in order to understand the world that you live in, you need to first of all understand how it all works. And I'm telling you, no matter what you may think you understand, you don't know. No matter what you think you know and what you understand and how things work, and you cool with all of it, I got news for you. You don't know how it works. And you're going to find out how it works when you're in federal prison and you find out that you said the wrong thing in court.
Mm-hmm.
And you did the wrong thing and made the wrong move, and you ain't got no freedom. You don't have any freedom, period. And so the smart thing to do is realize you don't have any power to do nothing, period. You can talk big, but you can't do big. And so the reason why you don't have any power, or Americans, period, we as a people, the people of America don't have any power to do anything. We can cry about it and bitch and bellyache and complain, but
That's
you
right.
can't do anything about it. And the reason why is because you have no power, because knowledge is power. You don't have any knowledge. You don't know how this stuff really works. And so until you have the knowledge on how this world really works, and what the words really mean, not what you thought they meant, you better check with the judge and the attorneys and see what those words really mean. And if you go into court and you open up your big mouth, you go into jail. Why? Because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how this corporation works. If you want to mess with Ford Motor Company, try it. If you want to mess with General Electric or General Motors or Sears, yeah, try it. See how far you get. Because they're going to be waiting for you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have a permit, and you don't have any knowledge, and you don't have any insight, and you don't know from nothing. So you need to just shut up and sit down. So I'm just saying that this is what I have been trying to do, is just awaken people in America to the fact that you don't have any power because you don't have knowledge.
That's good.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. You've been doing a great job at that, Jordan. And with all you've been saying, we got a ton of people asking a few questions on the chat room. If you,
I can imagine.
Do you mind if we take a few questions?
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask for a few. One question was asked if you could explain the difference between legal and lawful.
Oh yes. There's the difference between legal and lawful is the difference between the noonday bright sun and the faint glow of a firefly's ass. There is no comparison at all.
Right.
Legal don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It's only about which is lawful. That's what you need to worry about.
Okay.
And so, but today, the way the world works, legal is now important.
Yeah.
And lawful is not important at all. So legal means, it comes from the word legal, comes from something, a very ancient word, which means it's a permit, it's a system. It's what Sears tells you when you go to work for Sears, they will tell you what you can and can't do. Well, that's legal.
That's right.
They're legal. But they're not telling you because it's the law.
Right.
There ain't no law. As long as you don't work for them, they can't tell you shit.
Yeah.
But if you go to work for them, then they have a legal right to tell you. They have a right based on the fact that it's just a business.
Right.
That's right.
So legal means it's just a business. And here's the way we do it. Now you just sit down and shut up because you don't know some shit, and we're going to tell you how we do it. Now, here's the way we do it in our town.
In our town, right.
Here's the way we do it in America. It don't mean it's lawful. There ain't no laws. It's just I'm saying it. You got a problem with it, then speak up.
Yeah.
And so when you go in the military, that may not be the law, but whatever the guy is telling you, you better listen.
You better listen to it. That's right.
Here's the way we do it.
So there's a big.
You just sit down and shut up because you don't know what you're doing. And we're going to tell you how we do it.
Comes from the universe. You have a lawful to be able to breathe. It's lawful for you to breathe.
Yeah.
It's lawful for you to eat. And it's lawful for you to have a wife or a husband, whatever.
Right.
That's lawful. That's from God. Now everything else you do in town, you better get a permit, son. Because it will be illegal.
That's right.
You'll be parked illegally, you'll be doing this illegal. But legal ain't got nothing to do with law.
Right.
Legal is whatever I say it is. That's what's legal.
Now, let me ask you this. One other question came through, said, is there any way to own anything? No. Okay.
Well, the only way you can actually own something, I say that, but there is one way. You can own your home, your car,
Load the title. Yes, I know about that.
Allodial.
Yes.
Spell Allodial. Let me say that again and listen. Allodial is Allodial. Allodial. So if you're buying a home, a new car, or anything, any big investment, not your record player, but if you're buying something of real value that you're putting out some serious money on, you buy it with an allodial title. Allodial title means you own it, period. God cannot take it away from you. Jesus can't touch it, and the government can't touch it. It's yours.
Okay.
And that's the law under international law. If you buy something allodial, that means you own it, period. And anybody wants to take it from you, they're gonna have to come to my house and do it.
Yeah.
Because I own it. I'm not paying for it or leasing it, and I didn't pay for it, the way I normally do. I bought it with an allodial title.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you got something you're doing, you might want to buy something allodial. And I know that it works because I've been with people. I told them about it. And they went to buy a new car, a brand new car, and I went with them just for the hell of it, just to see what happened. And they went in and they decided to buy the best car on the lot, brand new. And they said to the sales manager, I want to buy this car on the allodial title.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to them, oh, that's fine. Let me go get the paperwork. So he went back and got the allodial title paperwork. So then they bought the car allodial, which means once you get in the car and you drive off, you own that car. Anybody who wants a bank or anybody else that wants to come and repossess that car, you better back up, son.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of line. You want to come repossess this car, you better do some homework. This is an allodial property. It's owned by me. So if you come to my house to take my car, you better back up and think about it because you're going to prison. You are absolutely stealing my property.
Yes.
Period.
Now,
if you don't do that, you pay for regular, well, then you ain't pay for nothing. So
you just exchange. Yeah. That's right.
If you buy something allodially, but you could go look all that up in the dictionary.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Now, myself, I don't own nothing on the earth, period.
Okay.
So I don't worry about any of this. I don't do any of this. I have no intentions of doing anything with my knowledge. I have no intention of doing anything whatsoever with knowledge or with government, with money. I understand the entire system and how it works. But I understand that well enough to know I ain't dealing with it at all, period. My philosophy is, because I've been looking at it for some 60 years, is my philosophy about life is I don't want to own nothing.
I hear you.
Period. Across the board. And so I don't want to own nothing. Therefore, you'd be surprised how much worry I don't have about government coming to take anything from me.
Right.
I don't know nothing. I ain't got nothing. I don't act for nothing. And I ain't got nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Period. And I could use my knowledge to do a lot of things that you have no idea in the world that I could do. Because I know how to do it, but I am not touching nothing. And the reason why, even though I know how all of this works, and it does work, and I know it works because I've seen it work for many, many people. But the reason I don't do anything with it is because you need to realize that you are not any longer living even in a decent corporation. So if I do anything with law, I know that the law today is worthless.
Yeah.
The law today is totally worthless. And so today, what I'm trying to say is that today the law is whatever the cop says it is. Whatever the judge says the law is, that's what it is. And if the sheriff tells you something, that's the law.
That's the law, right?
Is it written in stone? No, it's the law because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I stop you, and I'm a cop, and I stop you, and then I say you broke the law, and you said, what law? And I said, my law, fool. where I just told you what the law is, and when you say, where's the law? It's out of my mouth. It came
The
out
law
of my
that I
mouth.
said
Where I say the law is.
And so if I stop you, I'm a cop, and I stop you.
You ain't got nothing to say about it, because I'm carrying the gun, and I'm in the position of in charge of you, and you need to keep it quiet. You need to, be peaceful.
Right.
And so whatever I tell you, that's what the law is.
That's what the law is. Right.
So no longer in this country can you appeal in a court and show the judge where you judge, here's what the law says, because the judge is going to say, I don't give a damn what the law
What the law says, right.
In this court, Jackson, I am the law.
He is the law.
And so whatever it is I decide to do, that's what the law is. Now what you going to do about that?
Nothing.
I'll throw your ass in jail for no reason whatsoever at all.
That's right.
No provocation, no reason at all. I just decide I don't like your damn look. I'm going to throw you in jail.
Yeah.
Now what you going to do about that?
It's not much you can. Now, one last question I want to ask you. I want to go back to something you said earlier about the about money. As most of us know that follow any of the research you've done, we know that there hasn't been any real money since 1933. And now there's only, what they call legal tender or fiat notes. Now the big boom is talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Jordan, is this just another fiat currency that's coming out that's going to be used, or are they trying to turn it back over to what they consider to be real money?
Well, look, I have a friend in Los Angeles who is a genius on many levels, and in many different ways. He's extraordinarily brilliant man, and especially when he gets into law, international maritime law, corporate law. He's just an incredible mind. When I ask him something about international law, he gives you exactly the page of what it says and what you can do and what you can't do. And he tells me, because he's a brilliant on computers, he's brilliant on music, he's extraordinary on law, but he tells me that he's a big supporter of Bitcoin and these other cryptocurrencies. And so he explains it to me very simple. And when he's all through explaining to me, I don't know what the hell he said. I haven't got the same idea what he's talking about. But it all sounded pretty good, and I just smile and act like I know what he's talking about.
Right.
So I don't know, but he says that cryptocurrency is a miracle come true. Because you can do stuff with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin you can't do. And the most important part of the cryptocurrency is that you own it.
Right.
It's
true.
And it's you that owns it. And whatever you do with Bitcoin cannot be traced. And that's what the bank and the governments don't like.
That's because of the blockchain technology.
The government and the banks
are
really pissed at is because whatever you do with a Bitcoin, you do with a Bitcoin. You don't do with a dollar bill that has you have a contract, and so they know where you live. They know where you live, and they know your address and your phone number. So you want to mess around with the bank or with the cops, they know where you live. But with a Bitcoin, there ain't no way to trace nothing.
That's right.
Period. It's just a bleep on a computer, and it don't tell you where it came from. It don't tell you who owned that blip. It don't tell you nothing about nothing concerning nothing. Period. And so you can use that, and nobody will know it was you. And there ain't ever going to be a time in this world that anybody will ever know it was you that bought that thing with Bitcoin.
That's right.
There's no way to trace a Bitcoin.
Right.
It's just a bit, and it's a coin. It's a Bitcoin.
Right.
And so, but nobody knows where it came from, and nobody knows where it went, except you. And so that's what the government and banks don't like. There's no way to trace Bitcoin.
Wow. so much more information. I wish we had time to go into. We definitely want to have you back on the show because there's so much more we can talk about, especially with the governor and and what the governor, not the governor, but the government. I got time for a few more questions that been posted up on the chat room, and we're going to find out what you want to talk about as far as artificial intelligence.
Let me throw something in before we take any more questions.
Okay.
First of all, if you want to follow my work, if you're smart enough to know how much you don't know, and if you're wise enough to take some advice from somebody who does know,
yes,
then you might want to go to my website called Jordan Maxwell Show.
Yep.
And Jordan is like the river, Jordan, not O-N, Jordan, Jordan, like the river Jordan. And Maxwell, Maxwell, Maxwell. So it's Jordan Maxwell Show. And don't forget to add show, because there are other websites out there with my name on it, Jordan Maxwell, but it's not mine.
That's right.
I don't have nothing to do with it.
Don't trust those people.
I only have one website myself, and I own it. It's Jordan Maxwell Show. Right. So go on JordanMaxwellShow.com, and you will see that there's a little banner that's advertising something called the Jordan Maxwell Research Society, or the research website.
Yes, I am a member of that.
Maxwell Show is a little podcast. I got lots of stuff on it. You can go there and see me and what I'm doing. But there's a banner there you will see immediately. It says Jordan Maxwell Research.
Yes.
And that is a second website I have that you have to join that one. You have to join it.
Yep.
And it's only a one-time fee, a lifetime subscription, so to speak. It's a lifetime for one fee only. It's a very, very small, insignificant little fee, and you got a lifetime of all of my work. And so my webman, I can't do nothing. I don't know anything about computers or nothing, but my webman is putting on stuff every day, pictures and diagrams and research papers, videos, audios, and words to research, documents to go over on law and religion and government and society and how things work and what you can do and what you can't do.
That's right.
All kinds of information just piled up there. And it's all organized, very easy to understand. It's all organized, but there's an enormous amount of research work that I've done over the years that nobody knows what I'm talking about. Nobody's ever heard this kind of stuff before. All they know is Bugs Bunny and Pee Wee and the basketball game and all that.
That's right.
But I'm putting out some heavy duty stuff. And you want to know about it, then join it. And my feeling is I have to pay my webman. He's an expert's expert. So if I have to pay him, and I don't have a dime, I ain't asking for nothing. I don't have a dime from anybody. But I do live on contributions, but I don't get that much in contributions to be able to live high enough to have a website. And so I have to pay my webman, because he's good. He's really good. So that's why I charge a little insignificant fee for a lifetime on my website.
Yes.
So go on to Jordan Maxwell Show and join the Jordan Maxwell Research website. And I'm also working with a company now called Gaia. So Gaia, real simple. Gaia. Gaia is a television production company. And I'm working with them. They've asked me to come in to be a part of Gaia Corporation, which I am. And so now they are producing my videos and all kinds of projects for me. And so you want to follow me, it's right there on my Jordan Maxwell Show. There'll be two big advertisements, one for Gaia, to join me on Gaia, and that's a very, very small, insignificant amount. I think it's by every 3 months, and it's only like $20, I think, for 3 months. And what Gaia does is they've got like 8,000 videos on all the subjects of the world, all kinds of strange knowledge and research material that you probably have never heard anything about. And so the company is astounding, and I'm fascinated being able to work with Gaia because they are an incredible company, putting out some really good stuff.
Yes.
And so I'll be putting my stuff out there too real soon. They got over 8,000 videos to watch. And so join it. Or go on my website, join it, because if you join it on my website, all you got to do is just click on it, and it'll take you right to Gaia for you to join, and then it goes, your joining will go on my name.
Good.
So that that gives me benefit with the company if you join it on my website. So go on my website, Jordan Maxwell Show. Don't forget show. And join both my research society and join me on Gaia. Those are the best places that you want to get knowledge.
That's right.
Both places you need to go. So anyway, if we have any time, I can take some questions.
Sure. Well, I just want to say I can definitely vouch for that, Jordan, and to tell the people that are listening, I myself am a member of the Jordan Maxwell research page, and it is a wealth of knowledge. This is not stuff that you are going to find at any local college or university, because it's years and years of compiled research that he has done himself, and all of his work put together on this one page, and you will not run out of things to look up or study. And I could definitely vouch for that.
Besides, it's just the beginning.
It is, yeah.
Tons of stuff on there now, but boy, I got gigabytes, thousands of gigs of research that nobody knows I have.
Yeah.
It's going up every day. Like the webman's putting on a little bit every day. Every day it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's got a lot more coming.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So definitely please support Jordan, and go to his page, jordanmaxwellshow.com, and also subscribe to his research page, and also to the Gaia Network. Gaia Network is great. They have a lot of videos, and there's tons of things on there you can watch and find out about what's going on now, artificial intelligence, talk about Bitcoin. There's just a ton of things that you need to know what's going on in the world that you're not going to find on mainstream media. And we have a couple of comments coming from my producers, Jordan. They're going to get on the mic right now and talk to you. Hold on.
How you doing, Mr. Jordan? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question.
I was going to say too is that so much on Gaia you're not going to hear or find anywhere. They've got all the top writers, lecturers, teachers, researchers, writers, astronauts. They got all kinds of incredibly interesting, fascinating people talking about strange stuff. And a lot of it you've never heard before. And so that's why Gaia is so important to join.
Yeah.
And it's only, I think it's only like $20 for 3 months.
That's good.
God, boy, when you see how many thousands and thousands of videos they have on every kind of subject, and it's all produced professionally. Everything you watch is like History Channel and Discovery Channel. It's all really, really highly professionally presented. It's beautifully done. And so I'm really delighted I'm able to work with them because they're a great company. And so Gaia and of course my research website on my home website, Jordan Maxwell Show, those are the two things that keep me alive, and I'm doing this, my own research society and Gaia. So if you really want to find out what's going on in the world, join both of them.
Yep.
I wanted to ask a question. Where do you think we at with the robots, with the synthetic beings and all of that? How far along you think we are, like in artificial intelligence in society, like with robots actually walking around with synthetic skin and all that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I got a friend. I got a friend in Canada who is a real expert on that, and I mean a real expert. And I'm going to contact him and have him and put the two of you together. And you need to have him on your show. His name is Jeffrey Matt, M-A-T-T. Jeffrey Matt. He's in Canada, and he's written all kinds of stuff and talked on. He does radio shows on artificial intelligence, robotics. And he's got some stuff that'll knock you out. Things that you never even knew were going on and had no idea the world, how big it really is. And what they're really planning that you have never heard nothing about. So you need to have him on your show. And I would prefer to let him do the talking because he's been studying this thing for a long time, but it's bigger than you think. The whole prison system is based on AI, artificial intelligence.
Wow.
So when you go to prison, you go to jail, it's all part of something far, far bigger. And it's the same system that operates the ball games, the football games, all the big major, high-rise games, the big money games. And the big money games are connected directly to the prison games, the prison establishment, and the prison establishment and the big games, the boxing matches and all that. It's all one big, huge operation that we didn't know nothing about. And so you need to have him on there. That'll set you back about 5 years growth during the Yeah, you won't believe what he's got. So
that's
I know about it. We could talk about it another time.
Well, you always welcome here at Hamilton Radio.
Always.
Facebook done shut us down from sharing both computers. They shut us down. We already knew the risk. We don't care. Ain't nobody controlling us. We independent. We reach 247 million people worldwide on the low. And I'm a black guy from the hood in Trenton. So, we don't care. You know what I mean? You welcome. We already the police kicked him out their neighbor's door last night. I didn't get that every day.
Everybody listening, just keep in mind that you can't do nothing about the system under which you live because you don't have the knowledge about how the system works.
That's right.
I mean, you can have a Rolls Royce, but between your house and the highway, there is no road. So you can have the Rolls Royce sitting in your driveway, but you can't get to the highway because there ain't no road to it. And it's just as well because if you got out there and something happened, you don't know anything about a Rolls Royce, so you can't make anything happen. You can't fix anything because you don't know nothing. So my point being is that first thing you want to do if you're really interested in your life and your children and your family and your country and where this world's going, you better find out how all this bullshit has been put together before your great grandma was born.
That's right.
Thousands of years ago, they were putting this system together, and this system that we live under has been over 200 years. It's been perfecting itself. And there's all kinds of dirty stuff that you don't know nothing about in history of this country that you need to wake up and find out how America really works. So that's what I'm trying to do is help everybody become better citizens. Because the better citizen you are, the more you understand about government and politics and banks and insurance companies and how the world works and why we're at war and all of that. It all makes sense once you understand.
Well, Jordan,
that's what I do.
Jordan, you opened my eyes years ago. I'm another owner. My name is Doc G. I on Hamilton Radio. And my question was, how you doing? And my question was, how do I syndicate your radio show? Where do you syndicate it? Because I would love to have it on Hamilton Radio. Our listeners are aching for stuff like this.
Well, I would love to just do a regular with you. Why can't we just do a regular show?
That's great.
We can do anything that anybody wants. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking.
Let's do it.
Well, but I'm just thinking out loud. But if you wanted to, you and I could do like a weekly show every 2 weeks.
Yes, do it. Let's do it.
You got it. Whatever you want, you got it. We're the owners, so we can do anything we want.
Let's do maybe a weekly show certain time, and I'll do an hour or two, whatever, and you put it out there all over the world, and I'm sure you'll be getting all kinds of questions.
That's what I'm
I'll
talking
give you
about.
all kinds of
Yeah.
answers. So if you want to do that, let me know.
We do want to do it. There's no question. We just have to pick the day and time you want to do it, or if you want to do it on Vince's show.
I'm doing it on my
I
show.
don't know. I don't care. I mean, I can do it on both shows.
It's fine with me. I don't have any objection to that.
I mean, it's whatever time and day it's available to you. We'll make it work.
Yep.
Okay, well, go on my website, Jordan Maxwell Show.
On it now.
And go to contact, and it's got all my contact info. And you've got my email. Email me and give me all your information, your phone number, your cell number, and what you're doing, and your website. Give me all the information on you, and tell me what you want to do. And so I'll have the option to email you back and call you, and we can get together within the next couple of weeks and chit chat about it, talk about it, set something up.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. We'll be
good.
glad to do that.
I'm always happy to talk to you, especially young people who want to know. Because so many people in this world are ignorant; they don't want to know. But
No, they don't.
if you want to know, then I'm here to talk to you. But my suggestion is you might want to do it rather quickly, because I'm already 77. I don't seem, as I can look at it, I don't seem to be getting any younger.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'm only here for whatever time I'm here for. So if you want to take advantage of the past 60 years of my research, then give me a call, email me, let's talk.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan, because I'm 56 and I'm not even supposed to be here. I was supposed to die in 9/11. That's another story.
Yeah,
but, I was
there must be a reason why, and
Thank you.
there must be a reason why, and it must be a reason why you're talking to me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's no accidents. That's what we always say.
Okay.
Thanks,
So,
Jordan.
contact me, give me all your information, and we'll do it again.
Sounds good. We're looking forward to it.
Okay.
Well,
Thank
Jordan,
you.
thank you. All right. Wow, what a smash hit show. And to get another bonus like that to
We got phone calls.
is it people calling? We got it's okay.